We saw international diplomacy on the highest level this week in Washington with the state visit of Kenyan President Ruto, complete with a state dinner at the White House last night that featured a 5-star menu and world-class wines from California and Oregon. But soft power, as they call it, is employed on a smaller scale every day in Washington, and not only at the White House. As I discussed with France's ambassador to the U.S., Laurent Bili, inside the wine cellar in the French ambassador's residence here in Washington, where soft power often comes with a glass of Bordeaux.
Most of what is happening is not around an official table. It's on the side talk, when you can really enter, when you can share what are the reasons behind your position on some issue. And that doesn't work on Visio. That's really when people are really connecting and exchanging, it works.
Wine is not just a tonic for diplomacy. It's also big business. The most recent statistics that we have seen value French wine exports at more than $17 billion, much larger than what we see in California, for instance, here in the United States. Is there room for growth in an industry that's as old as humankind?
Obviously there is newcomers in the wine industry, so it's.
How about for France?
For us, we are kind of mature economy and a mature market for the wine, and we have also strong rules to make sure that what we export is really the top quality. And so we can't, by example, expand some grapes variety in an area which will be close to Champagne, but don't have exactly the same kind of soil, the same kind of climate. We will have to create a new wine, but not try to sell something with a fancy name which doesn't fit the quality. So I'd say we really focus on quality more than expanding more quantities.
You're a self-described introvert. Does wine help with that? It can,
but when I refer to that, I was also comparing myself with some of my predecessors who were known in DC as being more extrovert and to throw a party. So yes, it helps, and because wine is also about bringing people together, conviviality. I don't mean to get drunk, but just to offer something that you like, to share a moment of, about good food, about good wine, about life. And I like that. And I like the small format also, which are more intimate. That's probably where I'm more introvert, that I prefer to a big party, a dinner when we have more time to exchange, to deepen relation.
The wine that we're drinking here, again, brings us to an area of France where the wineries are very small. Each bottle of wine tells a story. There's a family behind it. There's usually a story of enormous effort and hard work that goes behind it. That's part of the story of French culture.
Yeah, I think that's what makes the difference is that in these small farm, people will know exactly that on that hill, with the sun, the soil, they need to mix that one with this one, which is more flat, but has got that particular taste. And thinking about my experience in Sancerre.
That's the essence of this, though, correct? You couldn't make the same wine 5 minutes later or 5 miles down the road. It's about what's happening right now, what's in the air.
And the knowledge that you have of your soil, of your grapes, and the way to make an assemblage of these different production.
Assemblage makes me think of champagne. Do you have time for bubbles?
I always have time to bubble. There's some really good bubble in France. And,
yes, there are.
And the bubble are not just bubble. It's also, again, that combination, experience, know-how, particular soil, particular climate, and of course, the variety of grapes.
I understand that you're clearly a wine fan, but you're from Brittany.
Yep.
Where cider might be first on the menu.
I have to confess that Brittany was more known for helping the wine industry to flourish in other regions than for its wine production. But I had my first connection really with wine a bit in the later part of my life, when I was a child, we were making our own cider. Once I remember we had one who was so powerful that it was exploding more than champagne. But we were not having that also tradition in the family. And so 1 year was good, 1 year was bad. So after a certain moment, my father decided to let the cider production to specialists.
It's probably best all the way around, I suspect. We'll leave the diplomacy to you and the winemaking to others. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for hosting us in the residence. I think it's time for a toast.
To our friendship.
Cheers.